Today we are doing Module 4, Lesson 33, and we are going to put everything we know about numerical expressions, which is number sentences, and we are going to make and solve word problems that correlate or that relate to these number sentences and to tape diagrams. It's kind of like what you're doing with a fraction story. Yes? Okay. To help us do that, let's start by solving our problem of the day. Our problem of the day says Miss Hayes has half a liter of juice. She distributes it equally to 6 students in her tutoring group. How many liters of juice does each student get? How many more liters of juice will Miss Hayes need if she wants to give each of the 24 students in her class the same amount of juice? Okay, first of all, we have to figure out what the question's asking. What is the question asking us to find? Maddie?
How many more liters of juice will Miss Hayes need if she wants to give the students an equal amount? And how much liters of each student?
So we want to figure out there's two things. First, we have to figure out how many liters each student is going to get. Okay? And then we have to figure out how many more liters she will need if she wants to give 24 kids the same amount of juice. Let's talk about one question at a time. Let's just talk about the first question first. How many liters of juice does each student need? Or does each student get? Okay? What important information do we need in order to figure out how many liters of juice each student is going to get? Tarun? Altogether, she has half a liter. She's going to give it equally to
6 students.
Good. So, she has half a liter altogether. Remember, for word problems, we always draw models or diagrams. And she has to split that half liter into how many equal size sections? 6. So let's do that. And we're trying to figure out how much one student will get. Are we doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Good. What's our whole? How much are we starting out with?
1/2.
And we're dividing it into how many equal sized portions?
6.
Very good. So if I were to take this half, so by the way, she only has half a liter, right? That would be a full liter. Do you agree? Okay. And if I were to split this part into 6 as well, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many units is my whole liter divided up into? 12. Okay. And so each student will get 1/12 of a liter. That's only the first part of the question. The second part of the question is asking how many more liters is she going to need if she wants to give each of the 24 students in her class the same amount. So for that part, we need to know that altogether she has 24 students, and each of the 24 students needs to have 1/12 of a liter. Put your hands down for a second. So in order to figure out, how can we figure out how much juice she would need all together? Well, she has 24 kids, and so she needs 24 copies of 1 1/12, or 1/12 of a liter. Yes? Good. How can we write that as one multiplication equation? Aradna? 24 over 12, good. Which is equal to? 2 liters. So does that mean she will need 2 liters?
No.
The question is asking how much more will she need? So if she needs 2 liters altogether, how much does she already have?
1/2.
Good, so she has 2 liters altogether. And we can subtract the amount she already has, which is 1/2. So altogether, how much more will she need?
1/2.
1 1/2 liters. Very good. If you know a different way to solve this problem, please share with the people at your table group right now. Okay, question number 3 in your lesson 33 problem set says Carlos buys $14.40 worth of grapefruit. Each grapefruit costs 80 cents. Okay. Part A, the question asks us, how many grapefruits does Carlos buy? We know he spent $14.40 altogether, and each one cost 80 cents. So if Carlos only bought one grapefruit, how much money would it cost?
80 cents.
What if you bought 2 grapefruits? $1.60. What if you bought 3 grapefruits? Okay, but we know that all together, Carlos spent $14.40. Go ahead and draw that. And we want to figure out how many 80-cent grapefruits can fit into those This is 80 cents, right? We want to figure out how many 80-cent grapefruits can fit into that $14.40. So what math equation are we doing here? We're dividing, aren't we? We're dividing $14.40 by 80 cents because we want to see how many of those 80-cent grapefruits can fit into $14.40. Do you agree? Good. We have 14.40 divided by 0.80. How can we do that? What's the first step of what we need to do? What's the first step of what we need to do? Lucas? Turn it into a fraction. How can I write that as a fraction? Kazu? Okay. Good. Okay, now I noticed that I have these zeros at the end. Do I really need them? No. Do they change the value? No. So I could write 14.4 over 0.8. Now, I have a decimal in the denominator. I don't like that. So what could I do to not change the value, but to get rid, quote unquote, get rid of that decimal point? What could I do, Rishit?
You can multiply by 10 over 10.
Because 10 over 10 is really what in disguise? 1. Very good. Okay. And so that will equal, what's my new numerator, Charlotte? My new numerator in the top is 144. Good. And my new denominator, Charlotte, is 8. Thank you. So then, what's my division equation? 144 divided by 8. Is that math facts that we know? No. Okay, let's divide it then. 144 divided by 8. Okay, can I do 100 divided by 8? No. So I can do 14 divided by 8, 14 tens. So how many tens can I put in each group? 1. 1 times 8 is? 8, okay. What's 14 minus 8? What's 14 minus 8? Thank you. I bring down the 4, now I have 64 ones. What's 64 divided by 8? 8 times 8 is? Good. So how many grapefruits did Carlos buy? 18. What's my units? 18 grapefruits. Very good. Okay, so this is taking what we know to solve this problem. Now let's look at part B. At the same store, Kari spends 1/3 as much money on grapefruits as Carlos. How many grapefruits does she buy? Well, if she spent 1/3 as much money, does that mean she bought 1/3 as many grapefruits? Yeah. So it would be 1/3 of Carlos's grapefruits, right? But instead of Carlos's grapefruits, we could just write how many grapefruits did Carlos buy? 18. So then we can find 1/3 of 18. How can I use math to find 1/3 of 18? Omer? 1/3 times 18. Very good. Which is, of course, 1 times 18 over 3, which is 18 over 3, which is 6 what's? Grapefruits. Good. Okay, so this is an example of how we can take the skills that we've been working on in Module 4 and solving a word problem with those skills.